I don't see that happening. You guys are both too hot. You guys are both too fucking hot. And every time they look at each other, even when they're just friends, like they can't hide that chemistry. It's not possible. So they just kind of show them at a distance and shoot things a little differently going forward. But like season 1, just putting the two of them on camera, it's like, yeah, why are we doing this right now? If we have super speed, then we can escape locations without being, noticed or arrested. So what is the limitation? This is a box full of sticky notes and other pieces of paper. It's not just sticky notes. What are we doing? We're doing YouTube and TikTok. This little box here at the end is the only one that I had to... Oh, I labeled it and then I came up with a symbol for it. That's what it is. These are iterative, but this has been here for a good while. I built a system like halfway through last year, and I think it's roughly stayed the same, so I'm happy with it. But as a result, when things stay the same, you tend not to check on them as much. So it's helpful to always want to revise, because then it brings us back here. But I just realized that instead of continuing to put sticky notes into this infinite box of YouTube and TikTok ideas, I could just bust them out on YouTube, and that can be the content, and then I don't have to edit too much. And then we could just post things directly, because I feel like I could just post this up, and it wouldn't be a big deal. I'll edit a little, but like, really, a lot of editing is just sitting and waiting for it to render, and I don't like doing that. I don't like waiting for shit. I don't like my whole computer being gone for a day while I just sit. I hate that. I really, really, really hate it. I like having additional machines on top of additional machines, but like, who's able to do that, Anywho, which one of these is YouTube? Which one of these is TikTok? YouTube is up. YouTube is closer to me. Okay. These are the YouTube ones. What's the fucking first one? Story girl. Yep. Supergirl storytelling. Explain the show to somebody. It's kind of vague, but I kind of remember what I was thinking about. I'm gonna say, off the cuff, why is Supergirl one of the best fucking shows? Yeah. Nah. That's stupid. Nobody cares that much. I'm gonna explain. I tend not to. I just went on this whole thing about labels. I'm going to explain the racial situations and relationships within Supergirl. That's what we're gonna do. Racial. Just the black people. Those are the only people that, according to the world, I have authority to speak on. I think these statements are stupid, but that's what I'm trying to communicate. That's the best way I can do it, even though I don't quite agree. First black person in this show is James Olsen. James Olsen is Superman's best friend. He is on my wall right there. I don't know that actor's name. They're probably not on screen because I'm not editing this, so look them up. Supergirl CW. That's what we're doing. James Olsen is a black man. There is the first ship of Supergirl is Karolsen. Kara Zor-El. Kara Zor-El, as her alien name is Kara Danvers. It's her human adoptee name. Very similar backstory to Superman. You're gonna have to Google some of this stuff. Superman's cousin. Okay? James Olsen is Superman's best friend, and now lives in a different city, and originally works with Kara at Catco, which is a newspaper, which is a magazine, which is a website. It's a media vague thing. BuzzFeed, but they call themselves like really top-tier journalism. And then that's like threatened later on by BuzzFeed-esque stuff. It's a whole thing. Journalism, but it's vague what they produce week to week to week, is what I'm saying. They're working together, and James is... They're both smitten from jump. They're definitely both smitten from the very beginning. There's no... I see no situation where one of them was feeling more than the other thing. I'm like, you guys are on the roof. Who's up here? That's what I'm thinking. Like, what are we waiting for? If you can reveal your superhero self to people on the roof, then you can do anything on this roof, because you're a superhero also. So, like, who's gonna catch you, And I feel like Kat would forgive her. As long as you're... as long as you're in the suit. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like, oh, let's be in the suit. But, like, literally, as long as you're wearing the suit, you can be Supergirl doing stuff with a vague black guy. Because Kat is not beyond just assuming a random black man. You know what I mean? Kat is not going to go past James Olsen. Kat's not going to do that. So, like, use that to your advantage. Super speed out of there if you get caught. I don't see why that's not a good plan. But, whatever. I guess spoilers. I should have said, I guess. I don't know, like, fucking ask questions. I don't know. There's no way for you to know what I'm going to talk about, so it's not fair for me to get mad at y'all. I just don't want to edit anything. I'm going to put it on the screen, hopefully. Spoilers, Supergirl CW. Like, I'm just going to talk about it. Like, because I think I started it, like, what? I feel like I started it as, I need to make sure I calm down. Like, that's one thing. As, like, advice. Like, you should watch this. You should. Because it's produced so much energy in me. If more shows were like Supergirl CW today, television would be awesome. People would be happy. Karolsen is the best ship. And the problem that I have is that after season 1, they nuke it. They nuke it unceremoniously for vague reasons, and then throw a white man in there really fast. And then they get rid of him and move on. And this dude never comes back. Not him. Not James. James is in the show. The white man. So they add a character. I'm not saying that's the only reason he's here, you know, but I'm saying that literally a character is added to the narrative at the exact same time as a popular ship is immediately destroyed at the exact same time that the show switch networks as well. To the CW from CBS, I believe. I almost said A&E. I don't think so. I would love to see, and now I'm thinking I'm using the wrong one because it might be AMC. No, AMC is movies, right? A&E, whichever one is Walking Dead. I think it's A&E. That's what I'm thinking of right now. And I think that'd be awesome to see Supergirl fly through some zombies, but that would, like, their tones would clash. I think it was CBS originally. But yeah, they switch networks and it's just real fast that they just, like, basically they were hot and heavy, and then season 2 comes around and it's like, we should try going on a date. And I don't even think they ever really go on this date. Like, the problem is because there's no, I bet what it is that they filmed a date and it was too hot. They filmed a date and these two people had too much chemistry and they're like, there's no way for us to actually go through this and then show this relationship dissolve. It's not gonna function. We gotta get rid of it because reasons, but we don't have time to actually make, like, a really good salvageable thing out of it. And they were pissed off. And so, yeah, they just go with the, like, oh, it's never the right time, I'm not really feeling it, it feels strange, yeah, me too. And then they just both drop it. Or not really, okay, that's the other part, that's the other part. That's the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because there are layers to this. James, immediately, okay, there's some time between, but James in season 2 goes through some changes. James is a reporter, James is a regular man, okay? Superman's best friend almost dates Supergirl. James was definitely the last one on the ship. And Kara was like, actually, I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? James would have gone ahead. Just where we were in the moment, James would have given it a shot. Kara was the one who wasn't trying to be involved anymore. This man immediately begins talking about needing to be more and needing to be greater. Feeling like I'm taking pictures of the action, but I'm not getting involved. You know? I need to let loose some rage. It happens really fast. It takes place through that whole second season, and then in season 3, he is in an outfit that I just don't approve of. I feel like every other hero in the entire show, except for the 2 black, except for James and James's sister, who has a worse costume than his later on. They both have terrible super suits, and James's super suit stays bad the whole show. And then it's like, I'm passing the mantle on to my sister, and the sister's mask is 10 times worse. 10 times worse. It is so insulting. Like, that's what I mean. I'm not gonna say definitely racism the whole way. I'm just saying that in a lot of shows, I don't care. I'm just saying that this situation, this is the only situation that I'm talking about. All of the black characters in this show, I feel are a little shafted. I don't think that's a bad word to use. Shaft. I wanna watch that stupid ass third Shaft movie. Because that movie sucks, man. It doesn't suck. It just, like, I remember being in the theater, leaving the theater going, like, well, that was a little waste of time. Like, I don't know why I saw this movie. But the song at the end was really catchy. It was like, too much chat. It was pretty cool. So, like, I was having fun kind of going down the steps, leaving this kind of stupid, boring movie. But now I'm, like, remembering that and wanting to watch it, and I feel like I'm going to put it on and then be like, oh, yeah, this movie's kind of whatever. And just not have any opinions, really, one way or another. Anyway, yeah, James needs to be a superhero, like, right now. He's always been meant for more. Since jump. His father handed him a camera when he was a kid. But after, coincidentally at some point in the future, following being let down by Supergirl, by a Kryptonian, by the cousin of his best friend, who's also Kryptonian. James needs to be a superhero. No powers, just in a big old costume, metal suit, doing backflips and stuff. I'm going to say good at your job. Because when I saw him and saw what he was trying to do, the whole second season or third season or whatever, between him wanting to do stuff like being ambiguous about, now I need to be more of like, I'm going to be a superhero, I'm going to put my life in danger, and people need to blah, 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 and I need to hide this from Kara because people are going to underestimate me. He does the whole fucking thing, and the entire time I was like, you are going to die. We're going to watch him go out there and immediately be shot, and it's going to be horrifying. That's what I assumed we were about to do, and I'm glad they didn't do that. This man survives the entire show. You should watch it. He's around. I mean, less appearances in the latter 2 seasons, but out of 6, around for 4, consistently. And he's whooping ass. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. Good looking guy doing backflips, never a problem, you know? So I'm cool with it. The costume sucks. He brought it. He knew what he was able to do and made something out of it. I am just saying that in the moment, while you're watching season 2, it really feels like a crisis. Because there is, like I said, there is now a white man who is also a superhero, who also falls from the sky, who is immediately injected into the narrative upon ending this ship. They don't even give Lynn a shot, you know? There's 2 male leads in season 1 who are both interested in Kara, and that's part of the thing. And Lynn they never bring that back around. It just doesn't happen. They don't even get an episode to try. You know what I mean? They don't even do iCarly with it. Like, that's nothing. There's nothing. They shot Karolsen in the face, ruin a new character for it to be the love interest, and then ditch this person like a season and a half later, just very swiftly. And then from then on, Kara's not interested in any romances, and I think that's fair. I don't necessarily think the show's better for it. I like romance, you know? There's plenty still. The characters that are romantic are still very nice to see. Like, the show doesn't have major issues for me. Like, I'm with all the choices. I'm just saying, in the moment, it's like, okay, James, you know? And I feel like if you say that among fans, people don't want to accept that that's what it is. But it feels like that's what it is. Like, and that's okay, James. We've all had breakups, you know? But, like, I was ready for him to be killed. He's not fighting anybody one-to-one that Supergirl would fight. Like, you know? He's doing some of the lower level stuff, the people you can hit with a shield, and will not feel good too much afterward, you know? That we're not killing anybody, we're just beating up people, incapacitated, you know? I feel like, yeah, he functions very well in that. I think near the end there's a few too many people doing backflips, you know? Kara's sister has some, like, hand cannons and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like, but just, I felt like near the end, by season 6, it felt like they were throwing people at the screen. I really didn't think, specifically, Olsen's sister, who is a psychiatrist, who's a psychologist, who works directly with people in the lower income sectors of their city to rehabilitate and to provide mental health services, becomes a superhero, takes up James's old job to beat up people with a shield in the last season. And that's, I think, the only decision that I don't agree with. Like, totally. I think that's a big decision I don't agree with. I don't understand that, you know? I'm really against that. Like, too many fucking shows are like that. Too much of our society is like that, you know? That's the reason why when you say abolition, people, like, don't believe you and don't think it's real kind of thing, is because, like, yeah, this therapist couldn't get enough done in their job, and so they quit being a therapist. I don't need to talk to people anymore. People don't need rehabilitation. I need to suit up and beat the shit out of people. Like, that's what it's about. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But, everything else in Supergirl is really great. There are other romances I could talk about, and specifically, John Jones is the other black person. Only reason I didn't mention John Jones is because I don't think of them as a black man, because they are an alien who is in the body of a black guy. Watch the show, you know, or I might make another video or something, but I'm getting tired now, so I'm not getting into it. But he's got a lot of interesting stuff. He's a great character, generally, but specifically in the very beginning, when we're dealing with the whole alien of it all before that becomes normal, for the narrative, that's quite a thing to go through. If you guys are interested, I guess I can make another one of these explaining my thoughts on John Jones' story, Alien in a Black Man's Body, because some crazy stuff happens, and it's season 1 of Supergirl is so good. And like comics, it takes a bit of time to get started. You need to watch till episode 12, I think. I think it's 12. Whichever one is called, like, Falling, or I think it's called Falling. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Whatever episode is labeled Falling. It's near the end, or it's near the midpoint of season 2, or season 1. Watch to that. Watch that. It might be 16 now that I'm thinking about it. It feels like a lot of episodes. It does. It really does. Sit there. If you're just watching them in the background, if it's just whatever and you're meandering, do that. Let it play. I sat there and let Supergirl play in the background while I was in a miserable, miserable place. Like, and I usually sit and focus on things I could not. I was just stressed out. But I left it on in the background enough and got kind of the vibes. And then around episode 10, I started really locking in. It takes a minute, and then by whatever episode, either 12 or 16, whichever, I was in for the rest of the fucking 6 seasons. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Supergirl is that good. It really, it's just got there's a lot of cards on the table, and it has to lay them out one episode at a time. And if you do that, it's great. Literally the first like 5-6 episodes of that show lay out everything you need to know, but it is very different. It's a very different type of show, and so it's a little harder to get involved with unless you're like sitting there every week with your whole family because we all decided we're gonna watch this thing kind of thing. If you're binging it, it feels like it slows down in the beginning, but like no, it doesn't. And then afterward, you're gonna watch season 1 on loop, and you'll have fun doing just that. Legitimately, I've watched season 1 so many times. It's a unique vibe for the show, and then it changes to CW, and it sticks to the landing. It's just very specifically that show, and it would have been great to get that show as well. It would have been great to see them clapping cheeks. I'm really upset. They both wanted to, and there's no stupid. And the reasoning is stupid. The reason's like, oh, it's just not feeling right, and they just run away. And it's like the 6 seasons, and y'all don't revisit this. Like when he kind of starts phasing out of the show, they're just so friendly, and I'm like, fuck that. I don't see that happening. You guys are both too hot. You guys are both too fucking hot. And every time they look at each other, even when they're just friends, like they can't hide that chemistry. It's not possible. So they just kind of show them at a distance and shoot things a little differently going forward. But like season 1, just putting the two of them on camera, it's like, yeah, why aren't we doing this right now? If we have super speed, then we can escape locations without being, noticed or arrested. So what is the limitation? That's what I want answered. Go watch Supergirl CW. It's really great, and also watch the movie. The movie's really cool. It's a very different vibe. If you're like super cutesy and you want like super happy, kind of like, don't watch that one with that expectation. I think you should still watch it. It's dark and realistic and gritty and shit, but it's not in like a Dark Knight kind of way. It doesn't feel like an era genre thing. It just feels like we're just approaching things from a more gritty point of view. Like, I don't know. When I say grit, I don't mean genre grit. I mean like, and I don't mean realism either. I just mean the darker side of humanity, the dark stuff, the stuff that makes us uncomfortable and afraid. It delves into that and literally has a dark, dingy, grayish tone throughout a lot of the movie. So it's not like Superman, which came out the year before, which is just so bright and colorful. It's not that again with Supergirl. The way that the CW show is, the way the Supergirl Rebirth is. Like, if you're one of those fans, that's the movie's not gonna like make you super happy, But it's still a great movie, and I think Supergirl 2 is gonna be like that for sure. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Like, they lay it out so well to make her into that kind of character. Later on, while still having some edge. Like, yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. It's not going to be Melissa again. It's just, I can't think of this person's name. The new actor for Supergirl, I think they're going to like really bring it in the future, and I think the bright side of their character is going to come out, and it's going to be just as even as it needs to be. Even though people feel like that she was really mean-spirited in the movie, but it's like gritty realist kind of stuff. We're dealing with horrible, scary things, violence and such. Like, that's the vibe. So, go watch Supergirl, go read Supergirl. Supergirl, yeah. And listen to Hannah Montana, that song Supergirl. It's not one of the best. Not one of your best, Miley. Sorry. Either Miley or your dad, or whoever wrote that song. Like, we're going to trust that that's it. The studio executive, the specific parent who works for somebody in the cast who objected to half the song and rewrote all the lyrics and emailed it in. That song's not great, but super. I think that's what I was saying. I remember I should have tweeted that. Or tweeted. I don't even use Twitter. I should have blue skied that. I don't know what people are using. I should have skied it. I should have shot that in the sky. I don't think that's what anybody's saying. I wanted to say that song needed to be in the end credits. I was like, all I know is if Supergirl by Hannah Montana's not in the end credits of this movie, I'm boycotting or something like that. And I always forget to make these posts before I go to see stuff. I don't use Blue Sky enough. I use it. Like, it's my social media. It's like one of the only ones I have, but I don't post a lot of stuff. I'm gonna try it out that. That's a goal. Anywho, bye people.